Somebody take a look at this. Wow. This how we starting off. We just they we're just gonna start off. We just I guess this how we gonna start off. This is how we're starting off, huh? This is how we're starting off. Yikes. Yikes. Can't believe this how we starting off, but it's all good. We just starting off lying to the world. Just lying. Hygiene. Anyway, we'll just leave it at that for now. But you see the title. We'll still give it a few minutes before I start going in. But in the meantime, let's look at let's just look at the story because I just saw it 5 minutes ago, and I was like, okay, let me put this on. Let me put this on real quick. So right here. Oh, well, I didn't know I can change the background on this thing. That's crazy. I might put a GIF. That's crazy. Anyway, she done already violated this shit. Like, I can't believe they did that on purpose. They put this up on purpose, talking about their one rule in their marriage is to not do anything that will cause any type of scandal. Will Smith's career is fucking ruined. She had one. I told you could give them all the freedom in the world. They'll still fuck it up, bro. They'll still fuck it up. They'll still fuck it up, man. Because their feelings matter more than anything else in the world, how they feel. And technically that's kind of how women are built anyways, in terms of when you really look at women in general, they're only they're they can only really function 1 week really out of a month. So like out of like a full year, they're only functional out of how many weeks in a year? 52 weeks in a year. So out of those 52 weeks in a year, they're only functional less than 20% of the time. They're probably functional during the year. Less than 20% of the time of the year, women are like actually functional. And sometimes we get shocked that they prioritize how they feel because really how women feel, they feel like crap most of the year, meaning they don't even feel like they can't function most of the time during months. So this is where men can't be surprised when they just, I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. You can't be surprised with women with that kind of attitude. So let me look at the comments of this particular because they did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. I'm not gonna go into the topic just yet though. Not yet. I gotta give it some time. Probably in 5 to 10 minutes, but let me look at this because this is funny. This is a funny ass headline. Somebody said, well, that rule was broken a long time ago. Somebody said, this is Jada's rule. Will just got to abide by it. He said, that rule must have come after she already did her shit. Facts. I'll say this, though. I'll say this. If I if Will gets caught out here, right, with a man, woman, I don't care who he gets caught out with, Jada better show him some forgiveness because she's ruined everything. Literally has ruined everything. So if Will get caught out by a man, woman, I don't want to hear Jada saying nothing. I don't want to hear Jada saying nothing. All she's done is mess up that man's career. I'm talking about just literally just his career is ruined because of this woman. Like Will Smith is the only person, like you know how back in the days, like when your favorite male celebrity gets caught out with a man, and then you're just like your day is ruined, or like your perception of that man is ruined. By the way, put a one in the chat if the audio is good, just to make sure. I want to make sure is the audio good, or are we straight with that? Let's make sure. Put a one in the chat if the audio is good before I continue. But anyway, but you know how back in the day, how it used to be like a dying shame if a man gets caught out with another man or whatever. That didn't used to that even in the early 2000s, that used to be like that would ruin your career. And still to this day, it ruins men's careers or just their perception of them. Will Smith is the only exception I will make where I'm literally like, he would be happier off. He would be better off with a man. He's the only person I'll make that exception for. He's the only person if I see, look, man, I've been hiding this for a while and I'm finally willing to move on with Jada. And here's my partner, Brad. We've been together for a while, and you know it's been a long time coming. And this is what I need. He needs to do that. I rather look. I'll literally be like, look, I get it. I'd give him a pass. Only for Will Smith, I'd give him that pass where I wouldn't lose respect for him as a man, for because he's clearly hiding something, and then on top of that, to be around that witch, because Jada Pickett Smith, she's a witch. It's clear this she's a witch, and he needs to be away from her. No, no matter the cost, no matter the cost. That's just my opinion on that matter. Let's see if I have anything saved on the Twitter sphere. Man, Twitter, I'll say this about Twitter though. Twitter is very toxic. If you guys can stay off of Twitter because it's worse than Instagram in terms of, you know, hope for humanity. You know what I mean? It's just it's really it's sad. So we got this just hilarious clip I'm gonna bring up real quick. So I want you to show I want to show you something. I want to show you something because women will say I'm happily single, and it's interesting. They'll say they're happily single, but they can't take rejection, right? They're happily single, but then they get caught up in situationships, or they want to call it a situation. They end up being the side chick, and then they get offended when they get called a side chick. So they make up terms like situationship or he lied to me and all. He said that he loved me. Well, he was. So these are the things that women will do, and it really has. Now I really have to call into question are because I don't think women are happy people in general, but I'll just say this. Are women ever happy single? I'm talking about ever. I don't think they're ever. I'm talking about ever happy single. I don't think they've. I think dad's just. I'm talking about. Sometimes there's little bit of a truth in a lie. Like when you talk about, okay, this is like 97% true, or this is a, uh, 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 this is a half lie, half true. This, I think, when you ever hear a woman say she's If she says she's happily single, she's lying. This is the conclusion I've come with. I've just come to that conclusion. It's just ridiculous. Here we go. He said, with this, now Will Smith regained the title as heavyweight simp of the world. He said, we're getting called incels with ID one. I only use Twitter for that's another thing too. Twitter is low key the spot where if you don't want to get like traffic on your main browser, people use Twitter to get to watch your favorite stuff, if you know what I'm saying. So that's what a lot of men in general use Twitter for. But anyway, let me bring up this. Let me bring up this because Jess Hilarious would be one of those people, the type to say, I'm happily single, but they do interesting stuff. They do interesting stuff. So here you have Jess Hilarious, one of the one of the new co-hosts of the Breakfast Club, right? The only female up there. And then you got Chico Bean. Chico Bean is the guest. He's the guest that they're interviewing. He's a comedian on Wild and Out. And Jess Hilarious basically reveals to the rest of the crew that he tried to kick game. She tried to flirt with Chico Bean, try to basically hook up with Chico Bean on the show while she was in the relationship. So that's also the other conundrum, because I always say, even though women are never happy single, but at the same time, I always say most women want to be hoes. They want to be hoes, but at the same time, they want to be chosen. So when they're even in a relationship, they've already shown the studies that most women have a backup man, like it's like 70% have a backup plan in mind, right? So they never actually can be happy, even if they are in a relationship, but there's a sense of security. So, in terms of the sense of security, meaning that they can safely monkey branch when need be. Now, there's not that much of a security factor when they're quote unquote happily single. You know what I mean? But when they're in a relationship, they can monkey branch freely or flirt a little bit freely, because men are actually happily single. Why? Because if they know a woman in a relationship and the woman wants to cheat, the side dude is going to play his role because he thinks he's winning. So he's not going to blow up her spot. So let's take a look at this interview where Chico Bean basically exposes Jess Hilarious for trying to hit him up and failing at it. So it's interesting here. When she tried to hit up Chico Bean, she said that he said to her, don't you have a boyfriend? Now, this is where it's a double-edged sword for men. This is where the more I continue to play this clip, you're going to see the double-edged sword. So she was mad at Chico Bean for even worrying about whether or not she has a boyfriend or not. This is what I mean when we say, look, if she likes you or she trying to kick game at you, she'll be mad at you if you don't take the deal. She'll be mad at you.
Hey, like, what's up now? He was like, you didn't break up with him. Like, no, you didn't. And I didn't. But
that's a smart man. That is a smart man. That's another trick women will use. You'll shut it down and be like, no, I ain't finna play with you because I already know you have a boyfriend. And then they'll say shit like this. Oh yeah, we broke up, or we separated, or whatever. We on a break, something like that, and you're just like, nah, because then you're out with this girl, and then all of a sudden, oh, I think he's stalking me. Nope.
like, how you not?
You see how fucked up?
There's a reason why I replay that. There's a reason why I replay that. Because he still rejected her advances. She said, he must be gay. Now, this is the problem with this because then other women will ask about Chico Bean, right? You never know because you'll have a woman actually interested in the guy. She'll be actually single. Then she'll ask around about Chico Bean, but then Jess hilarious because I know women like this. They then because they couldn't take that L, they couldn't take that L. Now when people start asking around, okay, what's Chico Bean about? Then she's probably, oh, he's probably gay. She didn't just say that to herself. She probably said that to a couple of her friends, and now it's out there. People think Chico Bean is gay. This is what happens. This is what happens. Now, I believe if you're a happily single individual, if you are actually happily single, you should have no problem. Say, even if a girl, I'll say this with men too. If a girl rejects you, right, and you know a dude that wants to get with her, but she just all she did was rejected you. If you talk crazy about that girl, you want some salty shit. I even believe that with men. But now, let's stick with the woman here. If you're happily single, you should have no problem accepting the L. And if somebody talks about, say, if somebody talks about, um, if somebody is asking about Chico Bean, you should be able to be like, oh, you know what? He's actually single, and really, you should give him respect for turning you down because he peeped game and you like, oh, actually, he's a good dude. But just knowing the types like a Jess Hilarious, she probably cock blocked Chico Bean from other girls. If other women were asking around about Chico, because I know what that's like. In the past, I'll show up to certain places. This is like I'm not even talking about relationships anymore. Where because people always be talking about each other. They're always talking shit. People are always talking about people behind their backs and whatnot. I'll show up at a place and I can tell, and I'm like I could tell. Oh, people been talking about me. And people could say that's narcissistic, but then I always get this comment: "Oh, you weren't who I thought you were." It's always a girl coming up to me: "Oh, you wasn't who I thought you were," or when I was in high school, a dude coming up to me: oh, people were saying that you were this, but I was wrong." That was confirmation for me that damn, people are always talking. People are always talking. So this is why I rewinded that part where she said, "Oh, he must be gay," because I already know that she even probably put out there to her friends, "Oh, I tried to holler at Chico and he turned me down. He must be gay." Now that's probably out there. That's slander. That's really slander, but if I call it slander, bitches will be like, "Oh, you doing too much." No, 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 no. Slander is slander. I seen a comment right here. So Pyro here says women know that they are not going to be taken seriously when they take a lot of glizzies. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about I've seen the sluttiest of women. I'm talking about the sluttiest of women. I'm talking about like get ran through, but then she'll like one dude, right? And the dude will not even be tripping off her messing with other dudes, but they're just in a they're fuck buddies, right? But she'll catch feelings for that dude and she'll expect that man to drop all of his hoes for her. And it's like, bro, both of y'all be fucking all types of people. But now because you like him, now he has to drop his stuff. The dude is and then she's like shocked that the dude is looking at her like she's crazy. And I'm like, you are, and I'm like the woman will be crazy because I'm like, you're a slut. Like he don't mind fucking you, but that I mean, what more do you want from the guy? And she will literally purposely put herself in Delulu land, right? I'm talking about referring to giving the dude that she's messing with a nickname and everything, putting these subliminals on Snapchat and on their Instagram stories. I'm like, I know a woman like this right now, bro. And she's making him the bad guy, but it was clear that that was never a relationship. Y'all was just fucking. And I'm talking about she's been with so many people. I'm talking about people. That's the type of woman she is. You know, when you're talking when women say that she's bi, that means she's a huge freak. That doesn't mean like I don't know. Guys be thinking they hit the jackpot if their girlfriend's bi. Like no, that means she's a freak and she needs to be tested frequently. Anyways, this girl has been with so many people, but because she found a specific guy that she liked, she wants him to drop all of his stuff. And this is very common, even in high school. It'll be like a girl I knew. It was a girl I knew. She caught feelings for the guy, but y'all was just messing around. She got mad and exposed his situation because he was already with a girl and trying to act like because she wasn't still messing with him that it meant something. And I'm like, that's just not how it works. But they so like I don't like today. There's no guarantee because women will do all of this and they still want to be held up in the air like they the number one when they're actually with a guy that they like. But I'm sorry, you can't have that slot. That slot belongs to somebody respectable. Like, and you can't have that. I'm sorry, you can't have that slot. Like I said, it don't matter. He said, I would just text her boyfriend if he's still with still with her. She's acting like she's doing him a favor. That's the problem because especially when they feel like, oh, I'm doing him a favor, and then you turn her down, she's going to call you gay. I've experienced this, me personally. She's like when you're in that position, like if you're a Chad, right, or if you may be an athlete, one of those famous, like real famous guys, or you're a Chad, she'll give you a pass for maybe turning her down. But Chads are smart. What Chads will do is they'll smash and then they'll just let it die down respectfully because the Chad already knows, okay, if I smash, she'll just look at it as a win anyways, even if she is the side chick. But the problem is if you're the average guy and you turn down a woman that thinks that she's settling for you and you turn her down, this is where they start keying up your car if you mess with her, or if you just turn her down. This is where that's when they start turning homophobic on you real quick. This is where you deal with those problems. And then these will be the same women talking about these men have no standards and whatever. Then you'll be like, okay, I can't date single moms. All right, I only date women in this specific weight class. Then it's you're what are they? I don't know what they what do they usually say? You're you're discriminatory. You're discriminating against weight class. This is where the slander really happens. If you're basically somebody that she thinks that she's just given a chance, which is honestly like basically if you're not a Chad, she thinks you're settling. She's like settling for a woman is in their mind is this. I'll give you two examples. This is what settling for a woman looks like in their mind. Is them settling is them finding an engineer that still makes like six figures, but because he's not her personal quote unquote body type, okay, I settled a little bit, but the guy that she got is literally like somebody that financially is going to literally change her whole freaking family. You know what I mean? That's and I'll give you another case of settling. A woman will be like, "Oh, I settled." So instead of chasing the rap artist, I'm gonna go after the songwriter. That's in her mind, that's settling. Instead of going for the lead singer, I'm gonna go for the bassist. That's in her mind, that's settling. Those are the two examples I can give you. So this is what we're talking about in the minds of these people. This is what we're dealing with. She's trying to F up your rep to not get poo poom. Exactly. That's the thing. This is why I always even say it's to have a female friend. You gotta, like, if you're a man and you have a female friend and you're straight, you're retarded. I don't know how else to put it for you, but you're a retard. So because it's not even just amount of, oh, but you gotta look at me as a human. Bruh, stop. What happens is, first of all, if a woman sees you as a male with a female friend and you not smashing, they're not gonna have no respect for you. They're just gonna be like, okay, why you even have her around and you not even smashing a bitch? I'm talking about from women. Women will look at that and that already repels the woman. And then on top of that, she's going to naturally repel women away because you're just giving her all this free attention and energy. She's not going to set you up with girls. She's not. She's not. You have a better chance of actually getting a girlfriend and getting the girlfriend to set you up with other girls than to have a female friend to set you up with girls. That's how crazy the game is. People don't understand how crazy that is. What I said. You have a better chance of, like, your wife or your girlfriend for them to set you up with girls to have sex with than a quote unquote platonic female friend. A platonic female friend, she's going to do anything she can to sabotage your chances of having any outside peace leave because they just want your free attention, but they know as soon as you get a girlfriend, she's gonna be out the picture because she is a energy vampire. She is an attention vampire. They suck the energy from you. This is why I do not get this thing with the I'm talking about, it'd be dudes on here debating me. But it's mostly high schoolers and young college kids, so they don't know nothing yet about how cold this game really is. So sometimes I just let them just go. I just let them talk. I'd be like, all right, I guess you got to learn the hard way, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when I was a young kid, when I was in middle school, I remember people, older dudes try to sit me down like, look, bro, like there's no such thing really as a female friend, but they were trying to be nice about it, and I didn't listen. So I learned the hard way. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's all good. Some people gotta learn most people gotta learn the hard way. He said that's a terrible oh man. He said, I'd be saying, don't you have rainbow friends? Like, these girls will call you gay as a diss, and they be having all these fruity pebble friends, and they all got cat names too. Fuzzy, Kitten, uh Jello. For all these fruity ass names that they got of um these uh butt pirates. Right? All these, and then as soon as you don't obey her as a straight man, then here come the insults. And I'll be wondering, okay, are y'all weirdos gonna call all right, let me be nice. Are you homosexuals are going to start calling out your straight girlfriends for being homophobic, or is it just something reserved when say the F word when I just want to call somebody a weirdo, but I just call them the F word, and then you throw a fit about that shit. He said them 16-year-olds in the comment, yeah, they be 16, 15 years old. They'll say some crazy shit too. They'll be like, have you ever had a meaningful relationship with a woman in your life? And I'm just looking, I'm like, use your common sense, bro. I mean, I've been on this earth. I know I'm still young, relatively, right? At 25, about to turn 26. But I've been around for a little bit. Like, you think I've like they'll be like, you've never talked to women. You'll just be like, you'll literally be texting another woman, hoping that she don't text you back because you don't have the time right now, and then you'll go to Instagram right after with a 15-year-old liberal pansexual tattoo ridden pink hair wearing septum nose wearing 304 trying to tell me what my life is. It's like this is crazy. They be 15, 16 years old trying to lecture me. And meanwhile, you're trying to do business on the other line, and you're like, damn, I wish I never involved this woman in my business. This is another grown woman that you're talking to on another line, or I'm texting just to do business, whatever, and it's just is exhausting because she's a woman. Because women are gonna do woman things, and you're like, damn, I should never. And then right on the other line, are you intimidated by us? And I'm just, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? See, they sound like boomers. I always tell them you need help, not friendship from a 304. I don't know, because like I said, it'd be dudes too. They'd be 18 years old, 17 years old. I'll give you, man, let me show you something real quick, man. It's a video that you've seen before, but let me show you a video of how inexperienced, because a lot of it is just inexperience. You know, a lot of the arguments that sometimes people are getting into, like, that's why I always say, you really shouldn't be arguing with people in the comment section, or really be giving them a platform for you to talk. I mean, for them to talk to you, because it's just a lot of them, they're just very inexperienced, right? So there was a traditional conservative male that was trying to low-key virtue signal and trying to give a 304 credit. And I had to be like, look, I'm telling you, this woman is not traditional. And he was basically saying, no, look at what she said. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what that bitch said. You don't go by what women say. You gotta go by what they do. And I'm trying to tell this dude, I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, this woman that you seeing here. Okay, I'm about let me show you this video, because you've seen this video before, because I did a video on this.
Truth of the matter is that, am I good at being independent? Yes. Do I want to be? No. I just think of all the times that I'm like building furniture and providing for myself and doing all of this, and like, that's great. I love it. She's capable. She can. She's willing, and she can. But do I want to? No. I don't want to open any more doors on my own. I don't want to hang any more TVs on my own. Can I? Yes, and I will if I must. But do I want to? I want a tall, handsome man to open my doors for me. I want a handsome man to hang my TVs. I want a handsome man to help me with my taxes, because I am barely hanging on trying to do this whole independence by myself as a woman. I can't. Truth is,
so when I see a video like that, I already say, I'm like, oh, this is a loser. This is a person that doesn't understand that she has 50 to 60 more years of doing this before she can even think about retiring. So this is somebody I look at, oh, this is just another failed wannabe independent woman. You know what I mean? This is what you call a wannabe. That's somebody like that's what you call a wannabe in a convenient feminist. You know what I mean? So right here, this is the comment I'm talking about right here. This is unfortunately, this is a young man that doesn't know better. So he said here, when a feminist realized she's feminine, and I'm like, and I replied back automatically, I'm like, she's not feminine, she's selfish. Now, in between, he asked back, how was she selfish? Now, as soon as he started laying down his logic, I look at his profile. And then when I look at his profile, age 18 years old. So he doesn't know. And what I see on here, Orthodox Christian. So when he says Orthodox, that means he's an Orthodox Christian. So this is a man with a very idealistic way. This is these are one of the dudes that women use once they hit 27, 28, 29. These are the women, these are the men that they go after. These guys like that. So when he's 28, 29 years old, right? And then all of a sudden he has 28, 29-year-olds hitting him up. He's going to think that they actually like him and that they're actually looking for a conservative man. And what he doesn't understand is, no, you're just food for the game. You're just food for the game. That's all you are. And I had to tell him, I was like, look, I know there is a age discrepancy a little bit. So, and I'm not trying to belittle that man because what clearly he has a lack of experience. So I told him, I was like, in that video that you just saw, that you think that she's feminine in, did she list one thing that she was gonna do for her hypothetical man? Did she list one thing that she was gonna do for him? No. She lists all the things that she wanted her hypothetical man to do for her. I didn't hear not one thing that she was going to do for him. Not one thing. Not one thing. And not even, I'm talking, and it's so obvious, but these are the guys that women end up aiming for, right? So right now, he thinks that woman is traditional, that she's doing the right thing. Now I'm like, no, she lost, and now she's looking for a bailout plan. And look, you fit the description, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Somebody said the TV hanging is difficult. This is why you buy a house and hang the TV one time. But I'll say, here's another thing. This is how you know we're fucked. You know how they've been really posting around this stat where basically there's more single women owning homes than single men. And I was like, we're fucked. Because we all know they're not going to be able to pay for that shit long term. And we already know those realtors are some I was like, yo, y'all realtors ain't shit. Oh, hell. I was like, oh, hell no. Now, our economy is definitely going to, like, it's already crashing as we speak. But with the student loan stuff, now single women are owning more homes more than that. Bruh, we're fucked. We're fucked. Because we already know crash imminent. Crash is now imminent now. And I was like, when I saw that, now most normie women, I think I'll say this, all women hold that stat up in the air like, what are you men doing? You men are not doing anything. You need to catch up. And I was like, You're buying houses in this market? What kind of shit did you sign up for on they probably, you know how you got like those what you call those mortgages, those 40-year what they call those 40, 50, 60 years fixed mortgages. I don't know what they signed. They probably signed something because men are not doing that shit no more because men don't have families like that. So they not finna be buying houses. I'm like, what did you sign up for? It's like, oh, well, this is why, man, crash imminent. It's gonna be a lot of, first of all, it's gonna be a lot of women turning into basically going into prostitution to save themselves, or them aiming for male realtors, sleeping with them for deals and stuff. It's gonna be turning into that because or sleeping with potential home buyers so they can get this house off their books. It's gonna be a lot of that, a lot of fake accusations ain't gonna go away. It's gonna be because they clearly something's off here. If you got more single women, people don't even see the signs. How crazy that is. They think it's because men are lazy and they're not. I'm like, bro, those realtors ain't shit. Those realtors ain't shit for I don't know what they signed on that contract, bro. What they had these women sign, they probably signed something crazy to get these houses. And they don't even know, and then they're not gonna realize until it's too late. But people don't get these things. They don't see the signs, you know. He said he's going to be red pilled so hard. Just wait. I'll say this: when it comes to the Orthodox Christians, I don't know. He will learn the hard way, though, just eventually. But what happens with the Orthodox Christian men, they end up getting red pilled way too late. I'm talking about when they're in like their 40s. That's when they start realizing, holy shit, I've been getting used this whole time. The reason why I don't go that hard on the liberal men, because I've seen the most liberal men turn conservative just in general. They'll just turn conservative, or they'll get RP, or because conservative and being RP aware is two different things in my opinion, but they'll snap out of it real quick once they see the reality. It just takes their girlfriend, doing something, and then they'll lead them out to a rabbit hole. There was a dude I knew. There's a dude that I know. He plays guitar. He used to be very liberal, and he still kind of is. But I was like, he would post all this liberal stuff, and I was just like, and he had a girl at the time, a little girlfriend, and I was looking at that situation. I didn't say anything. I was just like, give it 2 years, a year tops. Then slowly and surely, I see his post starts to change. His stories start to change. And just off the stories and the post alone, I already knew, him and his girl broke up, and he probably caught his girl doing dirt. Now I see him start posting stuff talking about, I watched something that mediocre tutorial said. I was like, yep, he got his RP. Hey, yo, man. I was like, yep, he got his RP. But the thing with like the Orthodox Christians and these people, they really think that, okay, women are going to do the right thing and they're going to come back to the table, and that's never going to happen, bro. That's never going to happen. But yeah, once you already know your friend is going through some kind of a RP thing where they start posting stuff, like they start posting like those softcore RP channels, like those like mediocre tutorials, and what's another softcore, like the roommates, and what's another softcore, like they start posting some what's another softcore RP channel, like Chris Williams, whatever that Chris Williams. One of these or Sadia Khan, one of these people, very soft core. They say a little bit about the RP. Chia Zed. That's the name I was looking for. No disrespect to those guys, but those are the safe guys right there. Those are the safe guys. It's it's like Shisha Zed, whatever, that guy. I know who you're talking about. So hey man. But like I said, yeah, it never happens. But like those are the people. That's before then. Eventually, then they start going to a more hardcore guy like Coach Greg Adams. Then they go to a Hammerhand. Then they go to a TFM or Undead Chronic. These guys, right? Hard building on that. That's what you're talking about, like the hardcore, like the MGTOWs. You know what I mean? These people. This is where you start. Yeah, Undead Chronic. That's then you start going to then it's like, you know what I mean? It's an interesting transformation that happens. Like I'll see it. I'll see it coming. People think that getting your RP, you need to get your heart broken by women. No. Nope. I saw it happen to a mainstream comic I know. Remember the whole Tinder swindler thing that happened? Hold on for a sec. Let me show you that video. Let me help people out real quick. Cause I love showing this kind of stuff. This is how I knew that he was going through an awakening. Don Schuler King. Let me bring up this video. Because you know, a lot of men that I knew got an RP awakening just off watching the Tinder swindler. Just seeing the information. Right here. Let me show you this video. Fair use. Let me show you this. This was his thoughts after watching the Tinder swindler.
Ladies and gentlemen, anybody want to tell me just what is the snatch and grab? Just the captain save them. I don't even know what to call it. What in the world is going on? I just got through watching the Tinder swindler. I did. I just got through watching the Tinder swindler. Man, I did not know it was that easy. I did not know. A Tinder swindler is about a dude who was on Tinder, and he'll meet women, and you know, on his profile, he'll be wearing nice clothes, driving nice cars, you know, going to all these nice places and this, that, and whatever. And he was pretending to be like the son of this big, you know, billionaire diamond dude. You know what I mean? He was pretending to be that. He had fake pictures, fake security, fake baby mama. He had all of it just set up. So what he would do was he would be like, hey, you know, come, I'm gonna fly you out over here, and then we're gonna have dinner. And he'd fly the girls out on a private jet and doing it, but he was using the other women's money. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd be wine them, dine them, and then next thing you know, he'd be like, hey, look, something happened with my credit
Fair use.
card, or something happened with this right here, and I need to borrow $25,000. And then they be dumb enough to give him the $25,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he got money because I seen him driving the Rolls Royce, a nice car, so let me give him $25,000. They give him $25,000. He turn around and be like, boom, I'm gonna give you $40,000. And they be like, oh my gosh, he gave me $40,000 when I gave him 20. And he like, okay, later on, something else happened. You know what I mean? He be like, oh dang, you know what I mean? My homeboy lost his foot, and he need another foot, but my account is froze up right now because the bank is closed, something stupid, and I need 100,000. So they thinking, all right, cool, I'm probably gonna get 250,000, something like that, because last time.
Now he's exaggerating a little bit, but that's basically how it went, where he would just come up with the Tinder swindler would come up with excuse after excuse, and the woman would literally give money, like their whole savings, to this guy, and that's just because he just perpetrated that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Time he gave me back even more money. All right, cool. They give him 100,000. Next thing you know, he just started delaying, and then he started asking for more. And these women were so caught up that they just kept giving him money and giving. I'm talking about 100,000, 150, 75, 40,000. I mean, just boom, 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 boom. And he'll take the money and go wine and dine the next chick. I'm thinking to myself, like, he said that his daddy was a billionaire. Ain't nobody stopped to say, hey man, ask your daddy. Ask your daddy. Ladies, y'all got to stop getting so caught up in what somebody got. Y'all get so swept, you know what I mean? Like, y'all just get caught up. All somebody got to do is show you a little money, a nice car, a nice place. He could be renting that stuff. That stuff could not even be here. Y'all just fall for it. Y'all be like, oh, snap, I got me a baller. Life finna be different. Y'all done gave it up in 3 days. Why? Because he had on some Gucci. Y'all stupid as hell. I did not know it was that easy. All this time, I have been giving a lot of people too much credit. I did not know people was that goofy. The Tinder swindler.
So after watching this guy, because I've watched Don Schuler for a while, and I remember putting in the comment section, I was like, he just got his RP awakening. And I got some likes off of it, and people were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, trust me. And then I remember about 2 or 3 videos later, an unrelated topic, Don Schuler King was talking about how men got to stop being mad at women for doing certain things. And he said, I've been seeing some of y'all videos on the RP that you red pill people. And I was like, aha, you've been watching. I knew it. You've been watching. I forgot which video he was saying. And I know some of you guys talk about you red pill this and this. Nah, you just hate women. And he basically went back to default settings. You know what I'm saying? I was like, he's fighting it. Because he's probably came across some hardcore red pill content, or the PUAs, or one of these hacks like Sneeko, or what's another hack? The Tates, to a lesser extent. You know what I mean? He probably came across one of these hacks, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't with this." You know what I mean? But I knew it. Because there are certain things that will happen to you in your life, and you'll just be like, wait, so all this time, people talking about, oh, woman can't pay for this, woman can't pay for that, but women were literally paying this man who all he did was perpetrate a lifestyle. And because of the lifestyle, they ended up giving him their own money. Meanwhile, I can't. And he's like, what's going? How is it that easy? You know what I mean? That was his RP awakening. He said his delivery is hilarious. Yeah, Don Schuler King, he's hilarious. I haven't seen his stand-up. So apparently he's also a stand-up comedian, but his social media, the stuff that he does on YouTube is hilarious. You know, I really like what he does. You know, I got to give credit where credit is due. But that was, people don't even, I remember at that time, I don't know if my comment is still there. He said, oh, right here. He said that right there was his RP awakening. This is what I trust me. I said that right there was his RP awakening. My RP awakening was seeing how women acted on college campus. That was my RP awakening. People just think it's just like, oh, a bitch broke your heart. No, for me, it was just seeing how women was acting in college. Just seeing how women were acting in college. just observing. And really, when people are talking about, oh, women be getting this is a grape culture in college. There ain't no grape culture in college. Stop. That was my RP awakening. Really seeing how they would act, how they would just leave their how girls would just leave their friends at random people's dorm rooms without a second thought, going to these athletes' confines, these frat boys, just leaving them drunk, passed out, and just basically trusting them with the chads, and then just thinking, oh, because they're chads, nothing's gonna happen. I'm literally like, oh my God, seeing how women acted with freedom for the first time from their parents. You know what I mean? That was my RP awakening. Oh, shoot. My brother's in this chat right now. Ainsley, man, my guy's in the chat. That is crazy, man. What's up, bro? He said Tate is a grifter. Yeah, Andrew Tate is a grifter. You know, it took me a while to accept, because like even like for example, I think Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO, they're grifters as well, but I give them the benefit of the doubt, meaning I consider Fresh and Fit the CNN of this RP space. And on top of that, Myron's from Connecticut, right? So there's a bit of a bias there. And then on top of that, Fresh Prince CEO is literally like, he's my doppelganger. So I be giving them passes, but they're grifters as well too. But Tate, you know what I mean? He is a grifter, you know, but because the things that he was saying that was practical, I gave him passes. But I'm really getting tired of me bringing up a point, or like it'll be like a man bringing up a point, and for normies to just dismiss it as, oh, you must be a follower of Andrew Tate or Kevin Samuelite, and you're just like, oh my god. You'll literally just be saying a point, and because it puts women in a bad light just a little bit, then they'll be like, oh, you're just a Andrew Tate follower, and you're just like, oh Lord, here we go again. Say, what's the topic of discussion? So the topic of discussion basically is I'm gonna be pointing out videos where women are basically lying about being happily single. And I say this because women have shown way too many times that they're really not. And I'll say this, me personally, because Ainsley, you know me, I don't like you know me personally, like I don't be preaching on women have to be married and all that. I don't be preaching on that shit. I just say whatever decision that you make, you gotta stand on it. Now the problem is when women say that they're happily single, they're not. And what ends up happening is these supposedly happily single women cause the most chaos out here. Meaning they'll be messing with a dude that's in a relationship already, and then they'll set him out, right? Or they'll be in a friends with benefit situation, friends with benefit situation, and then they'll call it a situationship, even though there's nothing there. And because it didn't work out, they'll call it a breakup. But I'm like, you guys were never officially a couple. And when you're really looking at why guys get caught out with women, why men get caught out cheating, is because these allegedly happily single women be setting them out. You know what I mean? So I really think, because I don't think women can be happy in general, because functionally, they only are functional 1 week out of the month, really, to be quite honest with you. Most of the time of the months, they're always in pain. Their stomach hurts. They got a headache, right? They're, you know what I mean? So just in general, they're always in pain. And then on top of that, when they're single, I don't think they're happy at all when they're single, but they really like to push that. You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's just weird. And then you see what these so-called happily single women start doing once they hit 30. They start being on some real desperation type mode type stuff, and they do things that you're just like, yeah, you're not happily single. I don't even think there's not happily single women at all. Now, I believe there's happily single men. That's what I believe. Whenever you see men have a problem, is because they're sexually not being satisfied. And that can be when they're married or single. So whenever you see a man struggling, it's most likely because they're struggling sexually, or they're just having problems retaining a goal financially, which could put them in a position to have more options sexually. But when it comes to just women in general, they're just not happily single. They're not. They're not. And I got way too much proof and evidence. You know what I mean? We know in general but they like to push that. And like I said, I'm not the type to be like, man, woman, you must be married and under God. I'm not that type of trust me, I'm not that type of person. I'm not even a person that I believe most women are not marriageable. especially not in the United States. And I believe also that every woman can't qualify to be they don't qualify to be in that number one slot. Most women are not qualified for that position. So I don't even push that shit on them. But I say whatever decision that you make as a woman, you have to stand on it. And you can't be making decisions in your 20s, early teens, and then because you lost in the game of life, now you want to act like something's wrong with everybody else. You know what I mean? Talking about the game is rigged. You can't be doing stuff like this. And these allegedly happily single women out there ruin so much people, like they ruin so much of people's stuff. Like they be ruining shit. Like, they're clearly not happily single, because I've seen side dudes play their role. Broke side dudes, I'm talking about. I see dudes that are actually happily single, and the only thing that what made them happily single was they were able to find an outlet sexually, and they already had that part figured out. I know a guy, he doesn't even go out with girls. All he uses is female escorts, and he's like, okay, I've already figured that out there. Now my hobby is this, building PCs. So if once men figure that part out, they're straight. Or if they find a girl that fulfills that need, then they're straight. You know what I mean? That's for men. So for men, if they get that figured out, they can be single and they'll be straight. But for someone, you can give women whatever they want. But it seems like to me when they're single, they're the most destructive when they are single. This is why in the past they had to make sure women were married up, because it was single women that ended up being witches and all this type of stuff, practicing witchcraft and all this stuff. This is why they had to make sure these people were locked up in a tower far, far away, like Princess Fiona and Shrek, or they had to make sure that they were married or arranged, or they put them in have them become a sister wife, become one of many wives, because unmarried women cause chaos. It's crazy. He said, I still can't believe Russell Wilson said that God himself told him to raise another man's kids. I did a video on that. It's sad. It's sad, but like I said, a lot of people be lying on God's name. You know, you like the average Christian today. These got to be the most non-Bible reading MFers I've ever encountered in my life, particularly Black Christians. These people do not read the Bible, dog. What white people do is they misinterpret the scriptures. What black people, they just don't even read it. They just come up with their own thing and just act like they read it. Like TD Jakes, even though as much as I respect him in his pimping and his hustling, like his services, he doesn't even read. He doesn't even show no Bible verses. He don't even be showing no Bible verses. You know, Christians be hustling and be lying on God's name. I'm like, where in the Bible does it say that it's okay to be a stepdad? Like, where can you show me in the Bible this? But so that's a whole other story. He said God told her to be a stepfather, but didn't tell him to audible Marshawn Lynch at the fucking 1 yard. Yo, I still haven't gotten over that. I don't think I'll ever get over that. That they didn't give Beast Mode that. But, that's what you call the fixed game. You know what I mean? That's what you call something from the higher ups, meaning they didn't want Beast Mode to be the face of the franchise. They didn't want him to be the MVP, because if he scored that touchdown, he gets MVP. And Marshawn Lynch was basically at war with the media, and he almost won. Him and Kyrie Irving are like the two athletes that they can say they won the war against the media, against these vultures, these media reporters. These guys are vultures, dog. Only Marshawn Lynch and Kyrie Irving can really say, okay, I was successful against the media trying to slander my name. So like when they say nobody gonna take care of them like themselves until shit hits the fan. Exactly. So then when shit hits the fan, then women's I want to change. I'm looking for a strong, traditional, masculine man. You don't have to be 6 feet tall anymore. And you're just like, it's too late. It's too late. Said today's Christians don't bother with the Bible. Those that do pick and choose what they like and warp them to their desires. Literally, just go to a black church, dog. You got these hoe ass niggas on the pulpit. What's this ninja's name? These dudes be hustling, dog. I'll be laughing because they be hustling. But like the old hustlers back in the day, though, I wouldn't be too mad at the old pimp pastors, whatever, because there was still some responsibilities that they took care of, and even some street responsibilities that they would take care of back in the day. But like these, especially like these real new Gen Z, like 20-something-year-old pastors, they take that shit, or the millennial pastors, they just take the shit, and it's like, bro, there's no self-respecting man is going to take Christianity seriously. After Gen Z, there's probably going to be zero Christians. There's probably going to be mostly either Muslims or bust. Christians have sold out their religion to appease powers that may be in the single mammies at their church. That's what they've done. So let me bring up this video that I just saw, which inspired me to do this stream last minute. I wasn't even going to do a live stream until I saw this video, because this was the nail in the coffin for me. This was the nail in the coffin. This is the nail in the coffin. So I saw this video.
Because
I saw this video. Hold on for a second. Let me open it up in a new tab. So I saw this video, and I just saw the caption, and I was like, "Oh, this has got to be the a millionth time that I've seen a situation like this." Here, you see the caption. It says, "Caught in the act. Woman spots man she's casually seeing and sleeping with on a double date at a show. Is he in the wrong?" And I'm like, how is he in the wrong? If you're just casually sleeping with each other, there's no label to it. Y'all are just fucking. That's all y'all doing. Now he's on a double date with somebody he doesn't mind being in public with. And he's probably not even official with that person. But he decides, let me go out in public with this person. Now you have a problem, because he never been out in public with you at all, except for maybe a midnight Wendy's 4 for 4. You know what I mean? That's all you was good for. You know, I'll give you a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? Give you some chicken. You know. You know what I'm saying? That's all they gave you, and you tight about it. That just shows you not happily single. It'd be look, it'd be dudes on here. This is how I like. This is how you know they're just trying to be men. It'll be dudes that would be replying to me, because I would say stuff like men and women can't be friends. And then you'll have the simps in the comments. Look, man, sometimes I'll be special by my female friends, and you know, they be giving me some food too. I'm like, so you just bragging about having a female friend for what? Because you sometimes smash her, and because of that, she sometimes gives you her leftovers from Red Lobster. That's what you're bragging on. And then he's like, nah, you don't know, man, you missing out. And I'll say this, I backed off, because I was just like, this dude's idiot. But at the same time, I looked at it at a different, I'm like, wow, he really loves that position that he got. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's still not a win in terms of because just having a female friend in general is just too much of a energy suck for me. So I don't really like having females as friends. I'll have a female acquaintance, a female business partner, or, well, even though that's a big mistake too, but not friends. Like friend, that's reserved for a select few people. You know, that's how I look at it. But men will be happy just being the side dude, getting some pieces of crumbs from her leftovers from the dates that she's finessed food from. Men will be happy with that. But you'll treat a woman how she's supposed to be treated. You are a side piece at best. You know, the person that would take her seriously, she probably wouldn't give a second look at, but you know, it is what it is. That's the position that she chose, which is nothing wrong with that. But now the man that you're casually sleeping with, you're seeing him out in public with another woman. You need to play your position. But no, that shows me you're not happily single. You're not, because you felt a type of way. You felt a type of way. So let's watch this video right here.
Because I came here with a genuine heart, only to see the guy that I'm and just last week is here with his homeboy and two females.
The man that has you in that process of triangulation is using you to compete with another woman, and he is doing it for his own ego. That man that's sitting here in this audience, when he was able to pass by you and say something, is because he already knew that it was going to disrupt your peace. And that disruption of your peace just stroked his ego, and you got up here and made a fool out of yourself. Ooh. You haven't talked to this man in 2 days, and you got up to this microphone and showed how low of a self-worth and low self-esteem you have. You showed this man that your security lies in him. You showed this man that he has your self-esteem and your self-worth in his hand, and he can play you like a puppet. I'm talking to my women now. If y'all don't stop playing on y'all damn selves, and I don't usually cuss, but if y'all don't stop playing on y'all selves, don't you let nobody play your puppet master. Don't you let nobody pull you by the strings and decide what it is that you gonna do. That man is going to go lay up with that other woman, and he's gonna call you the next day because he realizes that you need him. You better stand up and stand on damn business. We in 2024. We ain't doing that. Okay, that's my piece.
Clarification. You guys wasn't in an official relationship.
No, not an official relationship.
And
that's all I need to say. That's all I need to hear. Y'all not together. So why now you want to buzz people out and y'all not together? This is the problem. And people wonder, like, I did a video on this too, where people want to say, oh, you know, women, they just cheat better than men, and they just I'm like, yes, that's true, but you gotta say the whole thing. The X factor is who's better at playing their position, the side dude or the side woman. Side dude by a mile. Now, the side woman, she could be the biggest slut, but if she like you, right, and she thinks you're single, right, but then she sees you with your family or your situation, she is going to start extorting you for money. She's going to oh, if you don't give me this, I'm gonna put you out there. And then they'll start putting you out there, and they'll leave all of a sudden, I left they'll leave their underwear. They'll make sure there's strands of hair left around your car and stuff like that. They'll do stuff like this. And then in the next breath, talking about I'm happily single, I'm empowered, you know, and all this stuff. You guys can't do no. We can't be playing it both ways. We can't be doing this.
And given this situation, My man can date.
He can date whoever he want to date. But let's talk about the real conversation needs to be had. The real conversation is she feels taken advantage of and she feels used. Yep. And as a woman, as a Black woman, it's very hard for us to even find a way to get into that soft area, to find the energy to be feminine and soft. Because most of us by default then had to be in.
I feel used. I've been taken advantage of. He love bombed me. This is where me and women, this is where we split hairs. Right? I don't care. Like me personally, I don't care if you're like a single woman and you're like doing what you need to do. You're getting your rocks off. I trust me. Ainsley knows me. I don't care. I don't care about that. But this is where the rubber meets the road. You can't then in the same breath go in, talk about how you rather be single, you'll rather do this, and then in the same breath, you're exposing the dudes that you're messing with. If they have a situation. If they have a situation, just play your position. That's it. That's all I ask. I ask for congruency. I ask for consistency. That's all. This is what I ask for people. That's all I ask for people. Be who you is. Don't none of that having their cake, eat it too, and being a disruptive force when you don't get your way, and you not moving the goalposts. You know what I mean? That's all I'd be asking from people. But these people, they're perpetual side chicks. And if they actually love, if they could actually stand on this stuff and say, look, I'm happily single. I love being a side chick. You know, it's rare that you actually meet a woman that will actually play her position as side chick. It's rare. It's rare that, or you'll meet a woman that, okay, you're casually messing with her and then, but once you hit that 2-month mark, what are we? You get that question and you're just like, oh my God. I thought you were happily single. Nope.
Survival mode for so long that going into soft mode take work. Like being able to break out of that exterior, that take a lot of work. So for you to have done that work and giving yourself to someone that you felt like was deserving of that, only to have that thrown in your face, is a slap in the face. It is. But let's leave that. Now I'm gonna leave that there. But I'm gonna have you gotta hold your own for a second, because you had no business that you know wasn't for you, and you know where your heart at for him.
Hold on, you said throwing around the love word. Did he throw the word love around?
Yep. He took advantage of her.
So
you
hold on.
Because I can't.
This is why I could never look, man. Trust me, I love my niggas, man, for real. But you could never see me in a panel like this. You can never see me, because I've seen these things, or you'll see like the black dating podcasts and stuff like that, and I'm like, I could never do that, because the especially that hoe ass nigga, Ace Metaphor, this simp ass nigga, man. I can't be around people like that. I will lose my mind. I want to protect my peace. That's what I want to do, and kick the shit with guys that I know. AJ Rants and Reactions. The few times I've been on Undead's show as a guest that he's called me on. These are the people I want to talk to already, because we already know what the truth is right in front of us. I'm not trying to debate single mammy raised individuals, or like, I'm not trying to debate ninjas that haven't seen no type of successful relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about they've never seen, and they're taking, and I'm talking about, I'm not trying to hear logic from women who have never experienced seen, you know, healthy relationships, you know what I mean, with the S. Like they don't even know what that is. Like they think like where you're debating women on where you're debating women that think that putting a man on child support is like an option. Like I can't be. You will never catch me dead in one of those spaces. I made that mistake one time, right when I did the when Jovi Penna got called out lying, when Kai Cenat's friend released that sex tape, and there was a group of women on Twitter that was still trying to say that it doesn't matter that he has videotape evidence. It don't matter. He still did something to her. And I was just like, I just couldn't help myself. So I joined in on the panel and I heard some of the most ridiculous shit I ever heard from the allegedly most educated group of women, right? Ever, right? And I heard some of the most ridiculous, retarded, mentally ill stuff I've ever heard from a group of women in my life. So I will never again. And they had like 2 male simps on the panel. I remember asking him, look, so do you believe Kobe Bryant did what he did, even though with all the evidence? And he was like, yes. And I'll tell you why. And I'm like, oh my God. So I will never do something like that again, because I left there so drained, and not only drained, I left so discouraged. I was just like, I was just like, I'm like, look, if you're a black man and you still dating straggles, you know what I mean, or people with that kind of mentality, you know what I mean, where they're confusing white privilege really with family privilege, and if you're still talking or dealing with people like this, I don't know what to tell you, because a lot of those women, like, they were even talking, they were saying that they said that basically I was helping the male patriarchy, and I was helping the white male establish. I was like, what? Meanwhile, just previously, before that, I told him, look, man, I'm 5'7", barely 150 pounds. I'm not beating nobody up. I'd be avoiding fights. I'd be avoiding conflicts like a Jew. And whatever happens, that's why I tell the woman that I'm with, whatever happens, make sure you're responsible out there. I'm not going to put my life out there on the line for you. And even if you know somebody that can beat up people, you shouldn't put the men that you know in that situation. And I remember they was laughing. It was like, oh, you one of those I bet you Tory Lanez is your guy. And I'm like, man, middle school never left for these guys. And by the way, all the women on those panels, they were all single moms. All of them. College educated black women that were single mammies, never married. And this is how retarded one of these people were on the panel. I remember I was talking about, look, when we were talking about writing credits, I was talking about Stevie Wonder being one of the most accredited writers and him being smart enough to buy his way out of his first contract. Now his catalog is on a different planet and he has all of his writing credits. And one of the geniuses, one of the college educated women on there was like, what are you talking about? Stevie's a writer. He's blind. I was like, I'm like, who are these people I'm dealing with right now? I was like, and this is how I was like, bro, even the other woman kind of went silent when one of the women said that. I was like, bruh, what you sing, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't think they were talking about Steve. I think they were talking about R. Kelly being an accredited. No, yeah, I was talking about R. Kelly being an accredited writer, right? Because he has an extensive catalog. And she was like, R. Kelly can't even read or write. What are you talking about him being a writer? I'm like, R. Kelly's he's won writing awards. Like, whatever you sing, your lyrics Those are this is his lyrics. That's accredited to him. I even know why. I was like, I don't know even why I gotta explain this to you guys. This is besides the point. Oh my god. This how, like, you have these new generation of women that I'm trying to tell people, you have this new generation, particularly of educated black women that did not really necessarily grow up in the hood, or they moved to the suburbs early in life, so they didn't get access to Pookies until they went to college, or maybe sometime in high school, sometime later on in high school, but mostly in college. Then they go to like HBCU or one of these places, and then they finally get exposed to Pookies for the first time. So they have no idea what they're getting into. No idea. They get played like a motherfucker by the Pookies once they get into college. And they think that, oh, they found black love, but they were getting played. They end up getting knocked up, or they catch an incurable STD. They end up with a child, end up being a single mom, and then they go on their Cynthia G-ish, on their Cynthia G route, because they just did not see it coming. Because you got, like I'm talking about, you got black women that did not grow up in the hood. They go to a HBCU or one of these big ass colleges. They start messing with Pookies for the first time, and once reality hits and they're left stranded, then all of a sudden they go on there, man, I hate all black men tirade. All black males need to be aborted, and all this nonsense that Cynthia G was speaking on. That's what ends up happening, you know. So this is the thing. These are the things that we are dealing with here. Now back to this situation here, right? This is the average women that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a girl and your fuck buddies, look, you better keep that shit short. Either keep that shit short, meaning do not mess with her over a month or two, maybe 2 months max. Because after 1 or 2 months and you're still messing with her and you don't give her a title, no nothing, she's going to do you dirty. She's going to do you dirty somehow. And don't let yourself, okay, you want to unlock the crazy out of a woman? I've said this before. If you want to unlock the crazy out of a woman, if you mess with a woman for more than a month, 2 months, and then you cut it off, and then she spots you outside I'm talking about now you have an actual relationship right after her, oh, your life is going to be hell right after that. She is going to take out her voodoo candles, all of that stuff, all this shit, the tarot cards, the voodoo dolls, all that shit. She's going to wish all the worst shit to happen to you. If she catches you with in a relationship after you've been fucking her for 4 weeks and you didn't put no title on her, then you're in a relationship the next week. Oh man, you want to unlock crazy? That's why I only say it only works. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, he's doing it the right way. The only way being a true bachelor works is if you're really truly single. Because if you're truly single and you don't put your business out there in the public, that's the only time it actually works. You know what I mean? But the problem is, even with that, is when you don't put your business out there, the side chick is going to think that you really don't have any women, and then she's going to start taking that using that to her advantage and thinking that she's the only sexual option you have. But then that's where you got to play your next Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then she gets shocked, and then she gets mad, and it starts ruining your life. Like, you know, it's a never-ending drama with these people, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But like I said, if you want to unlock crazy, like in this situation, just casually sleep with a woman for a couple weeks, 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and then pop out And then if she catches you out with a situation, she's gonna put it on blast. She's going to lose it. She's going to lose it. Almost guaranteed she's going to lose it. Let's see if we can find another video. But yeah, that's all I had to say on that end, because that video, because when I saw that video, I was like, I gotta do this, because I don't think women are happily single. They're just not. They're not happily single. It's impossible. It's impossible. So right here, if I see this. So right here, back on the topic of when we talk about can man and woman be friends, it's obviously a bit overlaid, but I saw this video and it interested me a little bit. So let's watch this one.
A man doesn't have female friends, I don't trust them. Hear me out. If a man is not able to have platonic relationships with females, that means I cannot trust you. You can always tell a boy who has no female friends. They don't know how to talk to females. They don't know what kind of subjects to bring up. They think that there's a certain criteria or a certain topic that you can only use with females. They normally only flirt with females when they're around them, and they're very misogynistic in their way of thinking. Now, boys who have females as friends normally can talk to females, be in the same room with females without flirting with them, usually have standards, I'm not gonna lie. And getting females' attention isn't that big of a deal to them because they get it from their friends. Female touches and female conversation and talking to them does not arouse them unless they actually are attracted to that girl. Boys that don't hang out with girls can't do that because they don't know how to interact with females. All they look at us as is something to fuck. Also pay attention to how they interact with their friends. They treat girls like guys. A man doesn't have female friends, I don't trust.
I had to give that a pause only because it's clear to me that whatever guy is taking her advice in terms of when it comes to friendships, I feel bad for that guy. Now, I'll say this, luckily for me, when I was in high school, you'd be surprised that there were actually some girls that would put me up on game about this stuff in high school. Surprisingly, where they'll be like, nah, man and woman, they can't be friends. They understood what was up to an extent. Not fully, but to an extent. You know what I mean? They would see me get into certain things. They'd be like, why are you friends with her? And I'm like, well, we're not really friends, but I'm just talking. They're like, if you're with her, people gonna think you. So these are the things that if a woman took some kind of notice or care for me in the past, they would be like, maybe you shouldn't hang out with that specific girl because of the reputation that she had, because she was a slut, whatever. Now, me, I didn't really care about that. Honestly, I was the type of person in high school, look, if you didn't talk crazy about me and we were just talking, I'm not going to just deny your talking rights if you just want to talk, but women that would look out for me during the time would be like, don't talk to that girl. People gonna think y'all fucking. But anyway, she low-key proved what in this video, what she doesn't understand, she kind of unironically, she proved why there's only a small percentage of men that can have sex with most women. I remember Undead Chronic had put me onto a percentage that said something crazy like it's like 13% of men are having more than 40% of the sex in this country. It's something crazy like that. I was like, what? That's insane. But it would make sense to the extent that when women say, oh, I don't trust you if you don't have female friends, meaning this. If you don't got bitches, that's what she means. Because there's plenty of men that have so-called female friends, but they know what that is. What she wants to say is, look, if you're a man and you don't got bitches, if you don't got bitches that she's trying to say, if you a man and you don't got bitches that don't want to fuck you, I can't fuck with you either. She's not saying, oh, if you don't have platonic relationships, because men are just gonna tell her what she wants to hear. When people are looking at people, they already know what the situation is for the most part. Because there are plenty of men I knew that had so-called platonic relationships with women, and other women would look at him and be like, man, nah. That's not it. But a girl like that, she can't say it like how I said it. Because then it would basically break the facade. What she means is, as if a man is not able to fuck bitches on the regular, I can't respect you. It's not even a matter of trust. She just can't respect you. Have you ever noticed when women are calling people incels? Have you noticed they don't call Future an incel, right? They don't call Nick Cannon an incel, right? They don't call Mike Tyson an incel. These people, right? And don't let women change the narrative on that incel thing, where basically they'll call somebody an incel, then you'll call them out for basically objectifying their own selves, right? You'll call them out, and then they'll be like, nah, that's just another term for somebody that's a misogynist. No, because if you just wanted to call, if that was just another term for a misogynist, you would just call me a misogynist. You'd have no problem saying that any other time. I've never heard you call Future an incel. So that's not what it is. You're trying to poke fun at how most of the dudes can't get laid. That's what you're trying to poke fun at, or basically trying to use that against men. And then on top of that, when you look at her specific situation, she probably was talking with a dude. The dude probably liked her. He probably opened up, said, hey, I like you. And ever since she said no, he stopped giving her free attention, and now she's tight. So that could be the situation that she's dealing with specifically right now. That's a whole nother story.
Trust them. Hear me out. If a man is not able to have platonic relationships with females, that means I cannot trust you. You can always tell a boy who has no female.
But just remember, when we're talking about what women say is different from what they do. So you got to take what she said and just put it in opposite lens, right? She says, I can't trust you if you're not friends with women. But really what she means to say is, I cannot respect you if you ain't if you ain't sexually active with women on the regular. That's what she means to say. So the opposite of platonic is what? Non-platonic. What's the opposite of not trusting? Respect. So let's translate that. I cannot respect you if you not fucking bitches on the regular. That's what she means to say. That's what she really means to say.
Female friend. They don't know how to talk to females. They don't know what kind of subjects to bring up. They think that there's a certain criteria or a certain topic that you can only use with females. They normally only flirt with females when they're around them, and they're very misogynistic in their way of thinking.
Now, before she even brings up the buzzwords, I'm looking at her, and what does she have? She got the septum ring. This is another thing I forgot. I think I forgot to include that on my red flag live stream that I did the other day, where I was naming all the overlooked red flags. But I think it's pretty clear now. Any woman that you see with a septum ring probably should not. I'm talking about shouldn't even be a consideration. Should not even be a consideration for you to even have a serious relationship with her if she got a septum ring. Really a nose ring of any sort, but especially if she has a septum ring, that is the telltale sign that you're dealing with like a uber feminist, pansexual, trisexual, whatever. Pro blickety blickety black. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the telltale signs.
To have females as friends normally can talk to females, be in the same room with females without flirting with them, usually have standards, I'm not gonna lie. And getting females' attention isn't that big of a deal to them because they get it from their friends. Female touches and female conversation and talking to them does not arouse them unless they actually are attracted to that girl. Boys that don't hang out with girls can't do that because they don't know how to interact with females. All they look at us as is something to fuck. Also pay attention to how they interact with their friends. They treat girls like guys.
First of all, I wanted to address that last point because what she said in the middle was gobbledygook. that was just filler. That was just filler in the middle. But I want to address that last part. Guys do not treat women like guys. Now this is what happens when you live in delusion land for so long. Guys do not treat girls like guys. Trust me on this one. They do not. No, they do. No, they do not. When men are usually around women, they're usually holding back. They can't say what they really want to say when they're around women. They know they cannot. No, they cannot. Most women are not even, they can't. First of all, we already know most women are not capable of that kind of smoke that guys usually give to each other. Pause. It's just, they're just not even, we already know they're not built for it. So when women even ask for stuff like that, why don't you treat me like one of the guys? No. Because we already know that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well for either parties. And what I don't like about this thing here, we're basically, if you don't have female friends, you're a weirdo. Look, man. You can't force that upon me. Have you seen that video? You can't force that upon me. When she said that, I don't know. Let me let me see if that's still in my search history. You ever seen that video? So anytime women say this, that why don't you have any female friends? This is how I reply back.
No, you don't force that on me. Come and go answer that. Because what you want to hear, if you the answer you want, you have to go and be for that.
That man, I'm gonna replay that one more time. Anytime a woman's ask basically tries to shame me into having a female friend, this is what I say.
No, you don't force that on me. Come and go answer that. Because what you want to hear, if you the answer you want, you have to go and be for that.
I gotta have that as a soundbite. That is one of the funniest things I ever seen. One of the funniest clips I ever seen on Instagram. Somebody put me on to that. Man, anytime. Why can't you be my friend?
No, you don't force that for me. Come and I go answer that. Cause what you want to hear, if you the answer you want, you have to go and be for that.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Now that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That I gotta make that into a sound. I gotta put a soundbite on that. I remember I used to use that soundboard. I used to have a soundboard that I used to have heavy, but I haven't used that in a while. I gotta look into that. I'm gonna get my old laptop and start cooking up again and put the sound bites on there. Man, one more time though. One more time. When a woman asks me why I don't consider her the number one, why don't I ever take her out to see my parents? This is what I say.
No, you don't force that for me. Come and I go answer that. Cause what you want to hear, if you the answer you want, you have to go and be for that.
Oh my God, that's fucking beautiful. That's fucking what he said was so fucking beautiful, right? You don't even know how beautiful what he said. You can use that sound bite. You know what I'm saying? You could use that for anything. Anything. You can what? Man, like you can literally say like even for sports when they ask you to go to these optional pre-workouts that you don't have to go to, but then they shame you for doing it. Then they ask you why you didn't go. You just be like, hey.
No, you don't force that for me. Come and I go answer that. Cause what you want to hear, if you the answer you want, you have to go and be for that.
Hey yo. When a chick asks, what are we?
No, you don't force that for me. Come and I go answer that. Cause what you want to hear, if you the answer you want, you have to go and be for that.
Yes. I felt that on a spiritual level, man. I felt that on what he said. I felt that on a spiritual level. You don't even understand, man. Yo, man, I really felt what he was saying, man, on a spiritual level. Because this whole shit with, oh, you have to have, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't have to. And men shouldn't be forced
Because I came here with
to be in that position anyways. Nope. Let's see if I have one more video or one more thread I can see. Let's see, when the teachers are young. No, I don't care about none of that shit. Oh, man. So let's see. I think I got like two more videos or one or two more videos. One or two. One or two of those. Oh, right here. Let's do a video review on this video because I haven't seen this video real quick. So here we have a black corporate woman, and she's going to talk about how hard it is to find marriage, which is interesting to me, but let's take a listen to what she has to say. Why Black corporate women find it hard to find marriage. Let's take a listen.
OG classic. That's what
an
Jay-Z
OG
said.
classic.
That's what Jay-Z said.
Now you speaking the language.
Right?
Now you
And
speaking
get
the
in,
language.
you get out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, move on as quickly as possible, right? Learn the lesson, forgive, and move on. So I didn't necessarily do that as often as perhaps I should have. But I also think, creating a space to date and explore women that are driven in their career.
I hear it. I hear an echo. Hold on for a sec. Let me try something else just to make sure there's no echo. Yeah, there's no echo. There's no echo. Well, there's probably echo on the show that they did it on. Okay.
Careers.
They don't have time.
Tend to forget about
that's
how
another-
intentional you need to be about
That's
dating.
another thing. I'm glad you said that. They don't have time.
You don't have time. They don't make time.
They don't make the time.
They don't make the
Different.
time.
They have the time. They don't make the time.
They don't make it because it
They don't
gets
have to.
exhausting, right? When
Yeah.
you're constantly coming up against the men that may not be equally yoked. I'm single. I don't have children, and people ask me like, "What happened?" And I'm a heterosexual woman.
You're single because of you. Why can't people start saying this? Equally yoked, intimidation. No, you're single because of you. That's it. If a man is dealing with you and you're the one making mad money, I don't know why all of a sudden we're coming up with these terms economically attractive. If you make the more money, you got to accept the responsibility that comes with making more money. What's the point of women working these jobs or having these gigs, having these hustles where they're making most of the money, but they still want to have the same responsibility that they had, like they had back in the day when it was just like they still want the same responsibility as if they're earning less. No, if you make more, you have more responsibility. But they want to be able to escape and just use that money on themselves, while the supposed equally yoked man is going to be a dude that's making twice or more as she is, her supposed equal man, right? Man. What are we going to do with this, man? What are we going to do with this? Let's hear her out one more time.
Right. And so it's like, well, a couple things happened. I think first and foremost, I always say I spent too much time on the wrong relationships.
Meaning she would be in these friends with benefits situations with either the bosses at her job or the broke Chad and Tyrone's in the street. Those genetically gifted dudes, but they're poor. That's what she's talking. Those are the dudes that she's talking about.
I tell any young woman, get in and get out.
Get
It's
in
the
and
OG
get out.
classic. That's what
an
Jay-Z
OG
said.
classic.
That's what Jay-Z
There's
said.
a lot of girls like that. You'll be surprised. It'll be girls like that. Even I'm talking about in the criminal justice system, be dating dudes straight out of the penitentiary, or they'll be in jail and they'll be giving it up to their clients, right? And you'll just be like, wow.
So
Now you're speaking the language.
Right?
Now you're
And you
speaking
get
the
in, you
language.
get out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, move on as quickly as possible, right? Learn the lesson, forgive, and move on. So I didn't necessarily do that as often as perhaps I should have. But I also think, creating a space to date and explore. Women that are driven in their careers,
They don't have time.
tend to forget about
that's
how
another-
intentional you need to be about
That's
dating.
another thing. I'm glad you said that. They don't have time.
You don't have time. They don't make time.
They don't make the time.
They don't make the
Different.
time.
They have the time. They don't make the time.
They don't make it because it
They don't
gets
have it.
exhausting, right? When you're constantly coming up against the men that may not be equally yoked. I'm single. I don't have children.
Well, welcome to the life of the average working man. You don't have time. That's what it's like to that's what it's like to be a regular working person. You're not going to have time. Now, I don't know why women still don't get this. They don't understand that life isn't about making a photo reel for Instagram to see. You're just supposed to enjoy it, but like I said, this is what we're dealing with right now. Yo, let's see if we got another one. Alexis Jones. What's the last one that I said I was going to use? I said I was going to use the last one. Oh, right here. So I did a video on this yesterday. So the video, we got the caption. It says that there's one generation of Aussies where men have 232% more in savings than women. This is by far the biggest difference in savings out of any generation. Which generation do you think it is? Now, when I first heard the question, I automatically knew it was Gen Z. Why? Because they're not getting married. They're not putting money in families. They're not using the money on houses to get families, or because they have a family, they end up buying a house. You know what I mean? Since Australian men are not getting married, people are not getting married, men are not losing half their stuff in divorce. So, like I said, it comes to show you. It shows that Gen Z, because Gen Z men get the bad rap because they think they're paying for those girls for their OnlyFans account, or they're the ones paying for porn. And I kept trying to tell people, Gen Z men, they don't pay for porn. They don't pay for OnlyFans. They're not for dudes. Sorry. The money that they're getting is discretionary income. Gen Z doesn't have discretionary income. Right? But all they do is get their money. They go home and spend their money on like 2K VC, Fortnite V-Bucks, and then they just call it a day. That's what Gen Z men do. Right? They're not cohabitating with women anymore, so they're not losing their money ad nauseum. Okay. That's Gen Z. Now, Gen X, boomers, they had houses, right? They had cars and all that. But what was that all for? For families. Now that Gen Z women and Gen Z men, particularly in Australia, what is basically a feminist haven, where the men and women are basically separate, they're still showing you that Gen Z men are still saving more money. The so-called loser Gen Z men that don't want to approach women, but it's clear to them they're saving a lot more money. Like, Australian men are saving a lot more money, and once they realize the power behind that, it's game over. It's game over for all the 304s in Australia. And when I was looking at the comments, people just didn't get it. A few got it, but particularly the women, they didn't even get the point. So, okay, we're reaching, since I already spoke on the video, since we have reached close to the hour. We're at the 2 hour mark. So I gotta run. Actually, yeah, I gotta run in a little bit. So I will shut the stream down right here since we already are at the 2 hour mark. So right here, what we can conclude right here, women are not happily single. Just picture it like this. Whenever you see another caption, a video of a girl shaming you and they'll talk, they'll brag about, like, I've even heard women, they'll brag about, like, oh, you know, you don't see those men in the hospital by themselves. You're gonna be the one that's dying alone. And it's like most men, whether they have a family or not, end up in that position anyways. The men that you see by themselves in the hospitals, these were men that were Gen X boomers. They had families. The families don't want to see them right now because he's dying. That's how cold this game is. That's how it works. So what's gonna happen now is the Gen Z, the millennials and the Gen Z women, they're and the generation above that. These women are basically, they're gonna be in the same position as the boomer men in the past, where basically once they end up of old age, they're gonna be by themselves, and they're opting for that life, which confuses most men. This is why when men say you're gonna die alone, that's what they mean, because it's like, why would you want to live like us? So anyway, I'm gonna shut this bad boy down. I've still got some clips that are going to drop today, some interesting clips. I think about 2 or 3, but I will shut this bad boy down. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Ainsley. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Pyro. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I think Trevor's most likely tuned in too, because sometimes he said he listens while he's at work. So shout out to you if you're listening. Shout out to AE. You know what I mean? I already said shout out Angel. Man, thank you, Ainsley, my brother, for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna sign off on that. And this is one of my, I'll say, one of the more calmer streams. I'm not gonna go super into it because you already know it'll be a super stream when I put my Twitter on. I start involving my Twitter in on this end. But thank you guys for tuning in on this Monday morning, man. You know what I mean? You could be doing everything else, but you're here with me. So thank you guys for showing up, showing out, being in the comment section. So I'm going to sign off right here. Peace out, guys.